So much of my program over the last 5 or 6 years has been dedicated to human rhythm and the ability to heal through that rhythm in a collective group conversation. I get a chance today to speak to somebody who has come to the United States and has fully immersed himself in American classical music known as jazz, but he came up in Cuba in a very different environment where the drum continues to be in some indigenous communities still a force for healing, still a force for spiritual recognition and enlightenment. And such a high honor. Francisco Mela, welcome to the Jake Feinberg Show.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you, my friend. It's an honor to talk to you. Did you have an opportunity as a young boy to witness, people refer to it as descarga, spiritual discharge in the mind, but basically the opportunity to see a healing ceremony with the drums?
Well, well, it depends what is to you be younger. I just remember that as a younger musician, I was a dancer and a painter. Huh. As a younger boy, I was a dancer and a painter. And I didn't play drums until I was 17 years old.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Now, but were you aware? I mean, so much of were you aware of your family's roots? How far were you interested in the idea that I have been very fascinated with diaspora? The idea of all these people taken from their homeland, the motherland, and then brought to the islands, and then so much of trying to keep their own culture intact, and it was so hard to do that. I just wonder, even though you were not necessarily playing music, were you aware of your family and the different sort of even religion that they believe in?
Well, yeah, my father wasn't that spiritual, but he was involved in the culture, musical culture of my little hometown, and so he will take me to places where orchestras, popular Cuban orchestra were playing, and I will start dancing like a Cuban. But he wasn't that spiritual in that way, because I remember that he was like very revolutionary, like Cuban revolution, things like that. and so he didn't really believe in any spiritual thing.
He didn't. My mother, yeah. Go ahead, please. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't immersed in that thing. Actually, he started to believe more when I said to him, okay, you believe in that revolution and Fidel, and what about now you have money in your pocket, and then I'm sending you money every time from America. How when he saw me buying a house to my mother, I said to him, who you believe now? Fidel doesn't yeah. And that was the moment with Obama. And I said to my mother, I remember telling my mother and my dad, you guys talking all these things about these countries and the presidents and the political situation. Well, Obama just gave me this money because I work, and then you can buy this house that you live in right now. Mm. So my dad opened his eyes, and he was like, wow, I've been working for Fidel Castro all my life, and I never had a bicycle.
Right, right.
and so now he see that I moved to United States. I started working around Boston. I did couple tours, and the money I send him, it's like, well, how do you get this money? Dad, I get this money because when you work hard like countries like this, you get paid for your work. Over there, you're working, but you don't get paid.
That's right. And he maybe, well, I don't pretend to be an expert in Fidel Castro and the Revolutionary Guard down there, but do you feel like was music, in this country, a lot of families of color, black families, their kids grow up, and I'm talking, cats that are older than both of us, they didn't want any blues in the house. They did not. They thought it was devil's music, and so the parents would leave, and the kid would get on the piano and start playing boogie woogie or that kind of music, because there was sort of this dirty aspect to that music, whether it's being played in the brothels or the prostitution, things like that. And I know you weren't. Did your folks understand the significance and the power of music, or was it more like a performance and the idea of clapping after it? Because to me, Francisco, I mean, I cannot wait to come see you guys play music, but the only therapy in my life at this point is rhythm. It's the most healing thing in the world. And I just wonder if maybe they didn't understand your path completely as a drummer, or they didn't understand your mission and purpose in life, but they respected your purpose and mission in life.
Okay, let me tell you this. Yeah. They didn't understand it. The music, Cuba is rich in rhythms, right?
Yeah.
But not because Cuba is rich in rhythms, they understand that they use that as a vehicle to get out of Cuba and be free.
Right.
And so, because there is no, like in every country, music is music, but it's not that important. You have to be a doctor or engineer. And so my mother, she didn't understand that, the power of music. She when I decided to be a musician, it was a nightmare over there. It was a situation. I'm glad that my dad, because he was involved a little bit more in the culture, and he was like an old singer. He was like supporting me, and he said, "Okay, Francisquito, I mean, a little Francisco, wants to be a musician, and I support him." And I just remember when my dad said that to me, and that was amazing.
Wow. And so he was a singer. He knew that. He was there. Yeah.
Yeah, he was, well, let me tell you, I discovered that he was a singer now at his old age.
Wow.
But he was working. He was like kind of activist person, promoting concerts, bringing musicians to play in this play.
Wow.
But I never saw him play.
Wow. Okay, he did. Yeah.
Until now that I get out of Cuba, he got old. He got his retirement, and so when I went over there, I saw him playing in a little music house, singing boleros, Cuban boleros, and I was like, "Wow, why you didn't do that before? I never saw." Well, man, now I just retired, and this is my free time.
Right. So it was like, there's no way. He was like, you can't make a living as a musician, right? So it's still that way in this country. But once, so he allowed you to go, or he gave you blessing to go and be a musician in the United States, and then when you start to make money, buy a house, then his mind was completely blown.
Oh, totally. Oh. When he saw that more clearly than my mother. because when even I put the money in my mother hands, she didn't see it yet. But my dad was like, wow, you know what, man? And guess what? I managed to invite him, because the first country that I visit before coming to America was Mexico, Cancun.
Wow.
And I managed to invite him to come to visit me in Spain 1 month or something. I don't remember. With me over there, Jake, that was when he was like, oh my gosh. And you know what? There were musicians, Cuban musicians, that heard that my dad was in Cancun, Mexico, and that he was like a traditional Cuban singer. And they came to my house one day. Tum, 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 tum. Hey, Mela, what's happening? How are you? Hey, what is the reason you're visiting? No. We want to talk to your dad. My dad?
Wait, that is unbelievable.
No,
Holy cow.
Check this out.
Yeah.
My dad is in the sofa, sit down over there, and he sees some people that coming to visit me, but he didn't have no clue of imagination of that these people came to look for him. And they say, is your dad around? Yes, why? No, because we heard that he's a great a bolero singer, and we need a singer for tonight, our show, and we're going to pay money. Oh, my gosh. Go outside, get a clothes for my dad for his gig.
For his gig, yeah, unbelievable. Go ahead. Yeah.
I just put him in the car of these guys. I just said to them, okay, you treat my dad good, guys. Take care of him. Cuban guys, Cuban boys.
Sure.
My dad came with money in his pocket. Like let's say that he made like $300 for that gig.
Oh, this is in Cancun, by the way.
In Cancun,
yeah.
Jay, that for him was like that was when he saw the power of the music clearly. He was like, oh my gosh, I never thought that people will hire me and pay me in dollars this money, blah, 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 blah. And I say, well, you see that? This is what I've been telling you. You guys talking about the country, the political situation, that is better, that this is bad, that this country is bad. But, well, this country is bad, but this country, you work. You make money.
Wow. That is one of the coolest stories I've interviewed a couple thousand cats, and that is one of the most amazing stories. I mean, it's not even, it's just the idea that you can get paid
exactly
to heal. I mean, again, it goes back to this idea. So I want to ask you this. This is fascinating. I mean, what would you say objectively? I mean, looking back on it, when you started to play the trap set, did you start with hand drums, or when you started, were you just playing trap drums?
I start with a little bit of everything. I play a little guitar, and then percussion, and then congas, until I decide, okay, drums, because drums is like, and so that was when I was like 17. Of course, when I was a little boy, I was a painter and I was a dancer, but I'm also was involved in my center, cultural center of my hometown. So it's like, my mom and my dad, they bring me over there. I play some bongos sometimes, blah, 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 but nothing serious. I didn't know what I not even knew the name of the instrument. That was the bongo. But when they told me, no, this is percussion, I was like, what is the percussion? Percussion are all these instruments that you play with the hands. And okay, this is percussion. Okay. But,
so what was when you, I guess just when you could say when you get to Was your first stop in America at Berkeley, or did you go somewhere before that?
No, I went to the music school in Cuba,
Yes.
in my hometown, and then I did 4 years old because being 17 years old already in Cuba and starting music is being like an adult because normally they start when you are like 6 or 7 years
Absolutely.
old.
No, Candido, when I interviewed Candido, he played on condensed milk cans when he was like 6 years old. Yeah, go ahead.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't my case because I was painting.
Right.
You
Right.
see, and dancing. And so
So the question I have is when you got to the States and started to play burning, sophisticated, spiritual jazz, what was for you was the physical part of it or the mental part of it more challenging for you? What was the hardest thing for you? Because like you said, you're basically an adult. You obviously had internal great rhythm as a dancer. You just never had sticks. I'm just curious about what was most challenging mentally and physically early on for you. Because I mean, you basically the way it reads is that you started to basically play with masters pretty quickly.
yeah, I was lucky. Well, let me answer
Go
the
ahead.
question.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Remember that if you get in Cuba, if you get into a school at the age of 17, all these kids that being there before you, they know how to play, and mentally that affects you because you are in the same school with the same age, but your level is super low because you
Right.
never have you never touch a stick drum.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
and so for me, that was like really, really hard because they will call me the little loco, the loquito, because I will be practicing my doing my technique hands until 4 o'clock in the morning when everybody's sleeping in my school when I went there, you know.
Wow.
And so I be do that. I don't know what's happening, what happened with me, but I got the drumming. So the drumming fascinated me. So I wanted to really make it happen. I don't know if that to show people or to show me that I can make it. So I will be like working so hard. And so when the years go by, I graduated in Cuba. I managed to teach a little bit in the conservatory in Cuba, in my hometown. Then I went to Havana. Being in Havana, I kind of start playing a little bit, but Jake, I'm still amateur because I haven't played with any. In Cuba, they don't teach popular music to on the school. You learn popular music on the street.
Interesting.
All those bands over there, all those great musicians, they learn on the street because in Cuba, they always been pretending that they are a classical European education.
I dig it. Yeah, you can only learn the real stuff on the street.
Just to read the snare drums, the classical snare pieces. But I don't have any teacher that show me how to play a bebop or something.
Well, let me ask you a question. No, so this is really interesting. Would you say that everything at the conservatory was done in isolation? There were no ensemble classes. You never played in a band.
I never played in a band.
That is so insane. That is insane.
It's really well. I want to use that word, insane. You know what is insane?
Yeah.
Because you are there, you are one of those students in the school, but they made a little guaracha or song or salsa, a little combos, but you don't know how to play. But they put you because they believe that because you are a Cuban, you can do you can how do you say you can
do it naturally. Yeah,
Cuban, you can do it naturally.
Yeah, totally.
But I don't remember nobody saying, Mela, this is the clave, this is the cascara, and start playing like that. I remember that from my students' college. the one that were in higher years than me, that I will go over there and copy from there and learn from them. Their students, not the teacher. And so it was weird. Okay, there's some beautiful teacher that they see your talent. They give you some advice. They show you like a little thing, but they don't want to show you too much because they know that because the talent. But then now let me answer the half
Go
of the
ahead.
question.
Yeah.
When I came to America, I came to Mexico and I'm still playing the way that I play. I came to Mexico because this piano player, how do you say, Emiliano Salvador, which is one of the Latin jazz founder in Cuba, he hired me, but he died at 3 months after we started working together.
Wow.
He died. And so this piano player from Camagüey, another province of Cuba, came to Havana. He wanted to join or take that place, that position, and he put the band together. And we rehearsed like crazy, and he managed to get an opportunity to come to Mexico, and he brought me to Mexico. That's the thing. So being in Mexico, I'm still playing like a Cuban guy, like a Cuban boy, not jazz, like a real jazz, no, like a Latin jazz.
Was it like popular Cuban folk tunes, or you weren't playing jazz tunes, were you?
No.
Yeah.
He's writing his own composition. He's
dig.
like more
Yeah.
oriented to jazz, but more like jazz fusion,
I dig.
Jazz fusion.
I dig.
That kind of, go take a shower. That kind of orientation. And so, what's happened is that I stayed there. I didn't go back to Cuba. I stayed in Cancun. And one day, I'm having this rehearsal at a little jazz club, or the only one jazz club in Cancun. And few musicians or few students from Berkeley went there to rehearse with us, and they heard me play, and one of them said, man, if you go to Berkeley, they're going to give you a full scholarship, a lot of money. and I said, really? What is that? No, Berkeley College Music University, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to get there. They show me in their computers, their laptops, or whatever, how to apply to Berkeley. Berkeley, of course, automatically 1 week later answer me, hey, Francisco, we welcome you. Anytime you want to do audition for us, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what?
In 1 week? 1 week?
In 1 week.
Oh, my God.
In 1 week. And I'm in Cancun. 1996. Okay? I'm in Cancun. And so I said, wow, Berkeley? And if I do good, they're going to give me a full scholarship. And so I called them. I wrote them, they write me back, and they say, okay, they say that the deadline for the audition is finished already in Mexico. I have to go to America, to Boston, and do the audition in person. And I say, okay, let me do it. I found with my wife at that time, we managed to get the money to fly me over here. I came to Berkeley, I did the audition. And I, of course, I was already 33 years old. They didn't want me they didn't give me the full scholarship. They gave me half of the scholarship.
Right.
And so I decided not to go to Berkeley. I decided to stay in Boston, playing up Wallis, working on but to answer the question, when I heard the sound of jazz at Wallis, that was when I said, oh my gosh, I knew that I didn't play jazz. And so what really messed me up was the sound of the jazz. The real sound, to see those cats over there at Wallis Jazz Cafe playing swing in a way that they were playing. I remember those little black guys over there playing, man. I was like, oh my gosh. Nothing to do with Cuban music.
Right, so, right.
When I heard that, I said, no, all my thing changed. My head my mentality, my everything changed. I was like, no, 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 no. I have a lot of work to do.
This is the most. First of all, what's making me so emotional is that my freshman year at Boston University was 1996. So we came there the same time. You were a little bit older, and Wally's. I went to Scholars. I went to different places, but I wasn't. I mean, I was still very young, and I just can't. Did you? Was it? Was it very? When they said we can't give you full scholarship, so we give you half scholarship, and you're like, was there any doubt that you just were like, I am going to stay in America, or like to me that is a very because even in the late '90s, it was becoming harder. Let alone being I mean, obviously you were an amazing drummer, but you have to work your way into the rotation, right? How did that happen? Did that happen very quickly, where you started to pick up little gigs here and there, or how did?
Well. This is very funny.
Yeah.
I did the audition. I was disappointed because they told me that because of my talent or whatever, they will give me a full scholarship. That didn't happen. And so after that, I went back to Cancun until I decide, until somebody here called me thinking that I was still around, called me to do a New Year's Eve gig.
That's awesome.
Only, that pays only $500. And I was like, wow.
That's a
in
lot.
America, they call me, imagine me in Cancun. Wow, they want me to play in America. So I'm good. I have talent because they calling me to play in the New Year's Eve, paying me $500, blah 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 blah. And I made myself to come here, and I did play that gig. I came again. And that was when I decided to stay around because I saw that I can play. If I am in Cancun, if they call me from Cancun, from here to come back to Boston and play, I thought, well, I have a future.
Absolutely.
So that's what I did. I came in 1999. You see.
So wow, that is so beautiful. Wow.
In 1999, I did my gig. 1999 to go to 2000, I stay here, play the New Year's Eve, and that's it. I start working at Wally's as a doorman because I need to pay my little rent.
Absolutely.
Until Danilo Perez and David Sanchez came one day, and I was working the door at Wally's, and they asked me to play with them, and I said, no, I'm working. And they didn't know that I was working. I said, no, I'm working. No. And the owner of Wally's said, oh man, leave my boy alone, man, because he moved out of the door. I'm gonna kick out him there. I'm gonna fire him.
Wow.
And so Danilo Sanchez went over there. No, but this guy is a drummer, man. No. He's not a drummer. He don't know. Just leave him in there. And so the owner of Wally's, Paul, said to me, well, just go there and play. If you don't play good, get out of here. I don't want you to come back here. And so I went there. I did play with Danilo and David Sanchez. And then I came back to my position to work keep working the door. And next day, like around 2:00, I got a call from Wally's, from Paul. Hey, Mela. I said, oh, my God, this guy's going to fire me. Right. He said, yo, man, listen, I want you to come tonight, but you're not going to work the door. You're going to take over the bank and fire everybody and bring your own bank. And I said, what?
Whoa, dude.
I said, no, I can't do that. Well, just come. No, I can't do that. I can't go, I can't play the drums, but you have to talk to the drummer because the drummer is there. No, don't worry. Let me call back. He called me back. He said, yo, the drummer is not going to be there no more. And so I became the drummer, the house
You
drummer.
became the house drummer at Wally's. This is okay. I knew this was going to happen because we're having a ball. Can I call you tomorrow? We set up. Can we do part two?
Let's do that. Let's do that. Excellent.
I'm having a ball, man. Much love to you, man.
Bye.
Bye.